Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Givo the Shaman, and today we're talking about what happens when we have Mars placed in Libra in the 7th house for Aries Ascendant. So we'll be talking about that, and before we get into that though, go to my website, givottheshaman.com, and just like my channel name down below, and that'll be where you purchase your astrology readings, things like that, your astrology courses. I also have other courses up here that you can check out on my website, gebotheshaman.com. Alright, so some clarifications. People always ask me, well, I'm not the ascendant that you say I am, but I have the position that you're talking about. For example, someone will be like a Pisces ascendant, and they'll have Mars in Aries, they'll have Mars in Libra in the 7th house. Well, that's because you're using the wrong system. Vedic astrology is what I teach, and it's using a one sign for one house system. So, Aries being your first house, or your ascendant, meaning that if Aries is your ascendant, Libra would be in your 7th house. That's exactly opposite to Aries. So we're talking about that today. And another element, we're talking about Mars in Libra in the 7th house, but also Mars is your Lagnesha. So what I'm talking about here is you have an Aries ascendant and you have Mars in Libra in the 7th house. Now, because your ascendant or rising sign is Aries, Mars is your Lagnesha, meaning that Mars is the ruling planet of your ascendant, of your rising sign. So that's important stuff to know. Alright, so let's jump into it. So we have a lot of things to talk about. We have 4 in particular. We have Mars, we have Libra, we have the 7th house, which are Libra and the 7th house are very similar. We also have Mars being your Lagnesha. So, alright, let's get into it. So Mars, what is Mars? Mars is the warrior, the fighter, the competitor. He wants to go out and win and conquer and all that. You know, he wants to go out there and accomplish the mission and achieve the goal, get the prize, get the woman, win the competition. He wants to be the best. Mars pertains to blood, like blood vessels, cardiovascular system, a lot of like blood and heart and those kinds of things, as well as masculine energy, virility, strength, testosterone, things like that. Mars is the warrior. He wants to go out there and fight and be physical, be competitive, beat everyone up. And yeah, that's basically Mars. So what is Aries though? Or sorry, what is Libra? So Libra is about relationships. Libra is the sign of the ambassador, the diplomat. Libra wants peace, Aries wants war. So you can see that dynamic. So Libra is all about achieving a dynamic interpersonal harmony between people. Libra is just trying to find that balance, and things like that, you know. Libra is, and your seventh house is about marriage, about partnerships, even business partnerships. Typically, though, represents like contractual obligations, like contractual partnerships. So, for example, if you co-sign for someone, for their car, for their mortgage, or whatever, that is seventh house things. Because you're basically both signing a contract to do a certain thing together. Like it's partnerships, it's working together. It's also, you know, foreign relations, ambassadors, diplomats trying to work out peace deals, negotiations. Very much represents like law, litigious, like basically a judge trying to resolve the differences between two parties, coming up with a fair agreement that you know, if people have disputes, they can go to a judge and get them, you know, get a fair hearing and get it, you know, the ideal results, ideally, you know. Unfortunately, nowadays, depending on what district you're in, what state, what city, you know, judges can be incredibly biased nowadays, but unfortunately. So let's see here. And then we have the seventh house. So let me tell you about the seventh house. So, seventh house, Libra basically is the seventh house. Those two have a very strong correlation because Libra is the seventh sign of the zodiac. And, well, it pertains to the seventh house. Okay, so those energies are going to be very, very similar. Those areas of life, those, you know, things like that. So, what I want you to understand is Libra is the behavior. Libra is going and making peace. Seventh house is more marriages, contractual things, partnerships, things like that. So I forget what the thing is, but like someone said that the sign is like the how it'll play out, and the house is the area of life. So, alright, now let's talk about your Lagnesha. So, Mars being your Lagnesha, meaning the ruler of your ascendant lord is basically Lagnesha. Lagna, yeah, that's how we get that word in Hindu astrology. The Lagna is the first house, the ascendant, the rising sign. And then the Lagnesha is the lord of the lord of the rising sign, lord of the ascendant, lord of the Lagna. Okay, so what does this mean for you? The Lagnesha has a special significance because Lagnesha is essentially like, it's kind of like what your main focus in life is going to be. And so, you know, the house is the focus. So even though you have Aries ascendant, Mars doesn't like being here. He wants to be in Aries. You know, he wants to be fighting on the battlefield. He wants to be having his own, you know, like basically enjoying his own personality, enjoying himself, enjoying being boisterous, being like warrior like, being the competitor, he's kind of, you know, self-absorbed, thinking, and he has to be thinking that he's better than everyone else. Because if you think, oh man, this other guy's gonna be better at me than this, then you're going to lose probably. So, but so the whole thing with the Lagnesha is that Mars in the 7th in Libra, you'll be having this competition with your spouse. Like, you'll be torn between having your own, like, way about things, like, very, you know, selfish, but in a good way, you know? It's like, well, I'm used to having my life be this way. But then when you come across, you know, partners or, like, other people, especially, like, wife or husband and marriage partner, like, you'll be like, well, I was used to having my life be this way, doing whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do it, going out, you know, going traveling, whatever, not having to consult with another person before I do things. So, and then you'll be like, your Mars wants you to consider other people and be very diplomatic, be very fair and just and things like that. And so, you know, it'll be this tearing between what you want to do and what your spouse wants to do, you know? And so you're going to have a hard time with compromise. With, you know, and ideally it's you both find something beneficial that you both can agree on, and that benefits both of you. Like, the ideal for compromise and negotiation is not to just throw away your desires, but to find something that works for both of you so that both of you are happy. And so, you know, even though you might not get 100% of what you want, you might get like 60, and the other person might get like 60 as well, so you can kind of negotiate with that. So this is the whole thing with your Aries being here, or with your Mars being in the 7th house. It wants to learn how to negotiate, and it's, you know, it's the warrior. It wants to just have its way. Like, somebody can be extremely upset because they don't get their way all the time, you know? And I get it. I have Aries 7th house, you know? That's me. You know, I have that kind of same energy there. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a tear between, like, codependency and just selfishness. Like, like, not even caring what other people want to do or want to or think or whatever, have different opinions. But just like, okay, well, like, this is the kind of the thing that I'm facing right now is like, well, I don't really want to, like, compromise or do anything like that. I'm I'm okay if I'm single. Like, even though part of me wants a relationship, is like, I'm okay if I'm single because I get to do whatever the hell I want to do. You know, I don't have to consult about that with somebody else, and, you know, all that is just very foreign to me. So, so yeah, I mean, you know, so that's the Lagnesha part. That's the life lesson for the Lagnesha, is compromise, negotiation, and all that. And yeah, I can imagine one being very upset when they don't get 100% their way. you know. And so that's what basically Mars is trying to teach you. So then we have Mars being in Libra in the 7th house, just that alone without the Lagnesha. This is the description of that. So Mars being the, the warrior in the sign of peace, in the sign of compromise, harmony, like I just said, there's a strong desire for relationships. Like you'll have this desire for relationships. You want to go get married or have like a girlfriend or a partner or a boyfriend or whatever. And so this is what the Mars aims to do, is go get a partner. Yet you want to be the dominant one in that relationship. You want to be like, especially for a man, like you just want to be the head, the head of household, the breadwinner, the person who is in charge, and you'll be wanting to get more be in more traditional relationships, like traditional gender roles, traditional kind of things like that. And this feminine energy that your Mars is in, it kind of bugs you. It kind of, because Mars wants to be in Aries, being in this like feminine energy of Libra it's like uncomfortable for that Mars. So very it's like almost like, I don't want to say debilitated, but it's kind of close there. So, which means that it's going to be tricky. It's going to be mischievous, maybe some codependency in there. Trying to manipulate your way into getting what you want from others by, lying to them or telling them mistruths, or like blowing smoke, or being a chameleon, things like that. That's Mars and Libra. And so, with this placement, it's like, we have, let me think, we have another thing with this placement is like, we have, just a lot of competition with the spouse, with partners, like, it wants to compete with with everyone, like, and especially because it's there might be a challenge with the ego here, and oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. In a woman's chart, this represents like Mars is your husband. So, there's going to be some challenges with like between you, like, as I said, negotiation, things like that, but also with, as a woman with your Lagnesha being Mars, it's that gets tricky, where, if you're a woman, you might want to over dominate your husband, like, it's almost like he would be the one to, want to work things out and want to like just like be very low key and relax and just kind of you know, be very chill and compromising and things like that. But with your Mars here, you know, you'd want to like push him. Like he might be just like do his job, come home, relax, do the 9 to 5 thing, but come home, relax. You might be pushing him in his like career area or things like that. Like, you know, of course you need to look at your D9 chart to figure all this out. And also, look at where Venus is placed as well. Like, especially if you're a man with this chart, look at where Venus is placed. That'll tell you more about this placement. But yeah, it just like, it feels like it's like over-dominating kind of thing where you want to like push him to be better and to be, you know, to like do more, accomplish more, things like that. So, yeah, main thing here is like just compromise, negotiation, diplomacy, being kind and level-headed when you want to rip someone's head off, things like that. You know, learning how to, you know, take contrary actions is the big thing here. So, what else? Let me check my time. But yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say, guys. So, for this one. So, yeah, appreciate y'all watching and being here. And if you want to get an astrology reading with me, then you can go to gebotheshaman.com. And my astrology readings are unlike anything else you've ever seen. Yes, astrologers can tell you, oh, this planet means this, that planet means that, this position means this, that position means that. Well, I give you so much, you know, like, for example, not many astrologers, I would say maybe 10%, 5% can give you a mantra and ritual, like prescribe that for you, that'll heal you and help you with, like, in your life in all kinds of ways. You know, so I do give you mantras, I give you spiritual practices, I give you like the planets and deities to work with, I give you as well as information about your chart and answer those, you know, quality questions about like you know, about your career, about your love life, about your money, about all that stuff. Those are the most common questions I get and the biggest sources of pain for people. And so, you know, I do my best to answer that and give you direction in that in life for those. So yeah, go check it out, gebotheshaman.com, as well as a bunch of other services and courses here. So yeah, that's it. And if you want to, you can check out also my 12-step codependency program to help you, you know, with any codependent issues that you might have. I'll say that this program is in addition to Codependence Anonymous. That's like the main program you should be in if you're codependent. So this is just supplementary stuff. Alright, so yeah, that's about it. So I will talk to you next time. Peace. Bye-bye.